Invisalign is one of the most convenient ways to straighten teeth that's ever existed. No brackets, no wires, take it out whenever you want. But here's the catch, and we've talked about it a lot on this channel. All that convenience only works if you hold up your end. The aligners do nothing sitting on the counter. And that's exactly where the trouble starts, because when something is this easy and convenient, it's also pretty easy to get a little too relaxed with it. I see the same handful of completely avoidable mistakes cost patients months of extra treatment. Not big dramatic failures, little everyday slip-ups. And I want you to hear this right up front. None of these are about being a bad patient, not a single one. They're just the stuff that nobody told you. So today, I'm gonna tell you. Let's get into it. What's up everyone, Dr. Eric Jackson here, hope you're doing well. I've been an Invisalign provider for more than 20 years now, and I've seen every one of these mistakes more times than I can count. Today we're counting down the 10 most common Invisalign mistakes and exactly how to skip and avoid every one of them. Before we start the countdown, a word on why this actually matters so much. Almost every one of these mistakes comes down to the same three things: time, effort, and money. Any one of them could quietly add weeks or months to your treatment, cost you extra, or put your final results at risk. And almost all of them are invisible when they're happening. You don't feel them, you just pay for them later. So my goal today is simple: raise your dental IQ just a little bit. Because once you understand the why behind each of these, you'll see them coming. You'll avoid them without even thinking about it. And your treatment will go faster and smoother. Let's count them down, starting with the biggest one of all. All right, mistake number one, and it's the big one like I said. The one that causes more problems than all the other ones combined: not wearing your aligners long enough. The simple truth is this: aligners only work while they're actually on your teeth. That's it, that's the secret. The target is essentially all day and all night, but allowing you to take them out to eat and clean your teeth. And the rest of the time they should be in. When they're sitting in the case or on your nightstand, your treatment is completely paused. Nothing's happening, there's no movement. This is the tracking problem I covered in my previous How Do Teeth Move video, so I'll keep it to the essentials here. But essentially, each tray is built for where your teeth should be after it does its job. Wear it too little, and your teeth fall behind the plan. The next tray doesn't fit, and the whole thing stalls. And falling behind is hard to undo, because every future tray assumed the last one finished completely. And here's the part that surprises people. Half wearing your aligners doesn't give you half the result. A lot of the time, it gives you basically no result, because the tray never fully seats onto your teeth, so it can't deliver the gentle pressure that moves them. This isn't a part-time job. Wearing them only at night, or only when it's convenient, or even popping them in for a few hours here and there, thinking it's going to average out. None of that actually works. It doesn't average out. So here's the fix, and it's really more about honesty than discipline. Be realistic with yourself before you start. Wearing trays nearly all day, every day, is a big deal. If you know that's going to be a struggle for your lifestyle, that's a conversation you have to have with your dentist up front, not a corner to quietly cut later. Take ownership of the wear time, 22 hours a day, every single day, and then Invisalign can absolutely work beautifully. Mistake number two, and this one does real physical damage: eating and drinking with your trays in. My rule here is one of the simplest of all of Invisalign, so I want you to lock it in. The only thing that goes in your mouth with the trays in is water. Plain water. That's the entirety. That's the whole rule. Let me tell you why this is my preference, because I think it's going to help make it stick. First, chewing. These trays are thin, precise plastic. They aren't built to bite down on food. Chew with them in and you'll warp them, crack them, or pop them loose. And a warped tray doesn't fit, which sets you right back into the tracking problem from mistake number one. Second, and this is the one many people don't often think about: sugary and acidic drinks. Soda, juice, sport drinks, even your coffee with a little bit of sugar in it. When you sip those with your trays in, the liquid seeps underneath the tray and gets trapped right up against your teeth. Now, instead of your saliva washing that sugar and acid away like it's designed to do, you've sealed it against your enamel for hours. That's a recipe for cavities, and for those chalky white spots we call decalcification, permanent marks in the enamel. I've seen people finish with perfectly straight teeth that are now covered with white scars because they sipped soda with their trays in the entire time. It's not just about sugar and acid though. Even if a drink won't rot your teeth, say hot coffee or tea, they can warp the plastic and ruin the fit. Dark drinks like coffee or tea stain the clear trays cloudy and yellow. They're both just more reasons to stick to water. Still the fix? One more time. Take the trays out for everything except water. Out for the coffee, out for the snack, out for the soda, water only. Everything else either damages the tray or gets trapped against your teeth. But be sure you get enough hours, 22 hours a day, every single day. That's why I like water so much. You get the best of both worlds. Mistake number 3 is really 2 cleaning mistakes rolled together. The first is not cleaning the trays themselves. They live in your mouth 22 hours a day. If you don't clean them, they get cloudy, they get a film on them, and frankly, they start to smell bad. Clean them gently every single day with cool water and a soft brush, not hot water, which can warp them, and not abrasive toothpaste, which can scratch the surface and make them actually hold more gunk. The second cleaning mistake is sneakier and more damaging. Putting your trays back in over unbrushed teeth after you eat. Think about what that does. You just ate lunch, there's food and sugar all over your teeth, and you snap a tight plastic tray over the whole mess and seal it in tight. It's there for the rest of the afternoon. You've basically built a little incubator for cavities. The fix is simple. Whenever you can, brush before you put the trays back in. And if you truly can't, when you're out, there's no bathroom, at the very least rinse your mouth hard with water, and rinse the trays before reinserting. Keep a little travel toothbrush in your bag, backpack, or purse. That one habit protects your teeth throughout the entire treatment. Mistake number 4 is also quite common, losing a tray. And I can tell you exactly how it usually happens, because it's the same story every single time. You're at a restaurant, you take the trays out to eat, you wrap them up in a napkin so they're not just sitting on the table, and the napkin gets cleared away with the plate, straight into the trash. The napkin is the enemy. It's by a mile the #1 way aligners get thrown out. And a lost tray isn't just annoying, it's a gap in your treatment. Now, don't panic if it happens, because it's fixable. I recommend you go on to the next tray and wear it for the duration of the tray you lost, as well as its own duration. That's a lot of info, and admittedly it's kind of confusing wording, so let me give you an example to better illustrate it. If you've been wearing tray number 5 for 3 days of the 7, and you lose it, you'd immediately move on to tray number 6. Wear number 6 the remaining 4 days, and then wear it again for the normal scheduled 7 days that you were supposed to wear at tray number 6. Does that make more sense? I hope so. This works because the teeth will maintain their pressure in the periodontal ligament, and therefore keep treatment moving along. We're not making huge jumps between each aligner tray. We're making the best of a bad situation. The fix is almost embarrassingly simple. Just don't lose them. When the tray comes out, they go straight to their case. Every single time, no exceptions. Carry the case with you and use it. If you do, everything should work out just fine. Mistake number 5, skipping or stretching out your check-in appointments. I know life is busy. The trays seem to be going fine, and it's tempting to push that visit back a few weeks. But those check-ins are where I can catch the small stuff before it becomes big stuff. At a check-in, I can spot a tooth that's not quite tracking right. I can also spot an attachment that fell off and you didn't even notice. I can catch a tray that's not seating fully. Every one of these is a tiny, easy fix when we catch it early, and a much bigger problem if it runs unsupervised for 2 or 3 months. The fix: keep the cadence your dentist sets, and don't sit quietly on a problem between visits. If something falls off, a tray won't seat, something popped, or a tooth feels weird, give us a call. We'd so much rather hear about it than discover it for ourselves 8 weeks later. Mistake number 6 is about those little tooth-colored bumps on some of your teeth, the attachments. I covered what they do in detail in an earlier video, so quickly, they're the handles that let a smooth tray grip a tooth and move the entire thing, root and all, instead of just tipping the top. They do real work. 2 mistakes happen here. 1, people pick at them. This is simple, just don't do it. Besides, if you're wearing your Invisalign properly for the full time per day, you really shouldn't have access to the attachments with your fingernails. 2, an attachment pops off on its own, which happens occasionally, and the patient just doesn't mention it. But that attachment was placed to accomplish a specific movement, and without it, that tooth may simply stop tracking. Sometimes it's just bad luck and the glue to holding the attachment fails, but most of the time it's due to poor technique by the patient. Please make sure you're removing the aligners in the correct manner. We don't want to put stress and strain on the glue holding the attachments to the tooth every single time you take the aligners out. Stressing the glue over and over causes cyclic fatigue, something we've spoken a lot about on this channel. Ultimately, this cyclic fatigue can cause the glue to let go and the attachment to fall off. This usually happens earlier in the treatment when patients aren't as skilled and not as used to manipulating the trays. It also happens more to patients who didn't read the actual use and care packet or PDF. Read it once and you'll know the right way to do things. You'll be surprised about how many of these mistakes that we're covering today in this video can actually be avoided by reading it and implementing those instructions. So the overall fix: A, don't pick at your attachments, and B, if one comes off, tell your dentist promptly so we can decide whether it needs to be replaced or not. Usually it's a 5-minute quick fix, but we gotta know about it first. Mistake number 7 is 2 opposite mistakes that both come from the same place: impatience. The first thing is trying to speed up things by jumping over the next tray entirely. I get the logic. If one tray moves my teeth, two trays must move them twice as fast, right? But that's not how biology works. In the How Teeth Move video, I explained why gentle, steady force is the only thing that moves teeth safely. Your body has to dissolve bone ahead of the tooth and rebuild it behind. And that remodeling takes time. You just can't rush it. Jumping ahead outruns your biology, and you end up with teeth that don't track and movements that fail. Think of it like a schedule your bone has to keep. Get impatient and skip ahead, the whole plan falls apart. The opposite mistake is forcing a tray that clearly won't seat. If a new tray won't fully snap down, jamming it in harder isn't the answer. It usually means that the previous tray didn't finish its job. This is a call your dentist and ask for advice moment, typically. The fix for both? Trust the staging. Wear each tray its full prescribed time. And use your chewies. If you haven't run into these yet, chewies are little soft rolls you bite down on for a bit after you put a tray in. And they push the tray down so it seats fully against every tooth and every attachment. A lot of people underuse them, and they make a real difference in tracking. Mistake number 8 is a sneaky one, because it comes from a good feeling. About 2/3 of the way through treatment, your teeth start looking really good. The crowding's kind of gone. The front teeth line up. And mentally, a lot of people just check out. They figure they're basically done and they get lax on wear, or they want to stop early. Here's the problem. Looks good and done aren't the same thing. A lot of the final part of treatment is finishing your bite, making sure the teeth don't just look straight from the front, but actually come together correctly when you chew. And sometimes there are small refinements at the end to take the result from good to truly excellent. We've got a whole video coming on refinements and why they happen, so I won't go deep here. The fix? Finish the whole plan. Cosmetically straight is a milestone, not the finish line. Let your dentist tell you when you're actually done. Mistake number 9 might be the most expensive one at all, and it happens after treatment is over, not wearing your retainer. I'm going to keep this short because our last video in this series was entirely about retention, so go watch it if you haven't. But the one-sentence version is this. The day you stop holding your teeth in place is the day they start drifting back towards where they started. You can literally undo years of work and thousands of dollars by skipping a 30-second nightly habit of wearing your retainers. The fix is the easiest one in this whole list. Wear your retainer every single night. Please. Park it next to your toothbrush so you never forget. That's it. That's the whole fix. And mistake number 10. I saved this one for last because it's one with the highest stakes. Skipping the dentist entirely and trusting a do-it-yourself, mail-ordered treatment plan. Now, I want to be fair here. I'm not here to bash any particular company. I'm an old soul when it comes to this, though, and I have to be honest with you about what worries me. When you mail away for aligners based on an impression that you took at home of your own teeth, in your own kitchen, you remove the single most important safety feature of all orthodontics, a trained clinician looking at your roots, your bone, and your gums, in person, in 3 dimensions, and watching how they respond as your teeth move. And here's something I say all the time, and it's true of every aligner, not just the mail order kind. Invisalign can't do everything. There are cases I look at and send to a specialist because the right answer is hands-on judgment and an on-site imaging by a specialist. The difference is a dentist can tell you if your case is one of those, and a mail order kit can't. I'm not going to do a 1 in a billion procedure on somebody just because a tray exists, and a mail order box can't make that call at all. The fix here isn't about a brand, it's about supervision. Before you move your teeth, get a real exam from a real dentist who can see the whole picture. That one step is what keeps a cosmetic improvement from turning into a real problem. So let's run them back fast. Wear them enough, full time, not part time. Only water with the trays in. Clean the trays and your teeth. Keep them in the case, not a napkin. Don't skip your check-ins. Protect your attachments. Don't rush or force tray changes. Don't quit when they just look good. Wear your retainer and get a real exam before you ever move a tooth. Here's the good news. In all of this, avoid these 10 things, and Invisalign is one of the smoothest treatments in dentistry when you hold up your end. None of these mistakes are hard to skip. They just cost you when no one flags them in advance. Remember, time, effort, and money. A little knowledge protects all 3. In the next video in this series, we're shifting to a question I get from parents all the time. Does Invisalign work for teens? And what parents really need to know before their kid starts treatment. If you've got a teenager, that video is for you. If you missed any of the earlier videos in the series, they're all linked below for you for your convenience. Do you have specific questions about your case? Schedule a consultation with me. You'll find us at Jackson Family Dentistry, 2033 Ogden Avenue in Downers Grove, Illinois. About a mile east of I-88 and I-355 on Ogden Avenue. Give us a call at 630-963-6750. or find us at jacksonfamilydentistry.us. I'm extremely passionate about modern dentistry and I love discussing it. If you've got a question, or if you've made one of these mistakes yourself, no judgment. Drop it in the comments below and I'll do my best to get back to it quickly. Take care and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.